What TV show have you rewatched more than 5 times and you still find entertaining? Futurama lulled me to sleep several nights. Probably watched the show way too much. What We Do in the Shadows always makes me laugh. It is like a weak ejaculation. A. Jeff. Blackadder and What We Do in the Shadows. Band of Brothers. Edit. Glad to know there are so many people of impeccable taste here. Back when I doesn't have cable in the pre-streaming days, I'd have it on constantly in the background while gaming. I always get a little sad at the end of EP10. Because even though it's awesome that they're going home and the war is over, they're going their separate ways and wouldn't see each other again for a long time. Or ever in some cases. I also loved the Pacific. Like many others here. But I didn't feel nearly as invested in the characters because it covered multiple regiments and companies, instead of focusing on one company for all 10 episodes. X-Files. Classic Simpsons. Overthinkers of Reddit. What was it today? Dinner. It's always dinners. Don't know why, but yeah, dinner. It's 10 a.m. I've really been thinking of how many moments of my life I forget. Even though I don't want to. All those fun and important memories that I've had at the time that I'll never know I had. This morning my perfectly healthy dog was struggling to get out of bed. Doing that thing that dogs with non-working back legs do. My brain went into overdrive. Is this it? Cancer? Am I gonna lose my first ever dog? Turns out her leg had fallen asleep. The little turd is totally fine. I'm getting married in a few hours, so I'm going to swing by a wake. Husband of a new girl at work died suddenly. I barely know her. And I didn't know him. But it's incredibly sad and I wanted to go just to show some support. And I've been struggling with what I should wear. It's fucking stupid because it doesn't matter much what I wear. I think it's partly that I just hate going to wakes. And I've had to do it like 6 times in the past year. I am graduating high school today. Where should I start the list? What's the saddest fact you know? All whales eventually lose the energy to surface for oxygen. So they essentially begin to sink and drown. I learnt today that if a grizzly bear has a single cub, it will abandon it. For animal testing involving dogs. Most laboratories use beagles as they are the most forgiving of the people inflicting pain on them. Whales that sing in the wrong key get lost and are alone in the ocean. It hit me like a brick. Was thinking about my dad who died at 73. Thinking about my age, 44. I realized my life was likely more than halfway over. A majority of people, when asked, would rather die at home than at the hospital. A majority of people, when recorded, die at the hospital rather than at home. Which fictional universe would actually be awful to live in? The Power Ranger universe. Having a normal day and suddenly you're trapped in a giant pizza by a monster. Then a bunch of spandex-clad teenagers shoot lasers and a giant robot shows up that wrecks the entire downtown for the 3rd time this month. Warhammer 40k wins by a mile. The vast majority of the universe is a complete hellhole. Even the normal, human worlds are depressing. Polluted. Slave driving. Disease-riddled. Etc. There is only war. Obligatory rip my inbox. Video link for those poor souls who aren't familiar with the universe. https u2.be/z9xmnvfg_no. The world of GTA would be terrible to live in. You'll have to live in constant fear of the maniacal psychopath who may or may not shoot you, run over you, or just straight up assault you. Really any world with superhero The everyday lives of the average Joe is dependent on a few powerful beings, and there's probably constant violence. After watching, I have to say, Invincible, there was so much destruction and graphic shots of civilians dying in the city.
Subscribe, my brothers.